a true Tantrist? How do you recognize a true Tantrist? I think the question is very important, but one should generalize it quite a bit more. How to identify a true yogi? A good Christian, Muslim or Jew? What really defines a Buddhist or Taoist? How can I tell if I have a really spiritual person in front of me? Well, that's a big question, and there should be a clear and understandable answer that fits into a video that is only a few minutes short. Well, there must be a short answer for all the great, well, how should I put it, wisdoms, paths, teachings of the world are based on the one and only essence. There are different interpretations, different angles and points of views of the same thing. Therefore, it is also completely absurd to argue about which one is the correct one. It's all correct on the highest level. And on a personal level, the way that fits you is exactly the right thing. So if you do yoga because it serves you well on your way, well, and it's helpful for your growth, then it's going to help you to penetrate more and more into the essence of life, of being. But if you do yoga just because it's trendy or it makes you feel somehow special, then it will probably remain only a kind of sport for you, nothing more. And it is also true that it is very unusual that only one spiritual tool will guide you all the way, all the years. It is more like a journey through an unknown country. The path you have to go in the so-called everyday life is your own path, with your own feet walking. And maybe in some places there is support that is helpful to you. Oh wow, a broad river. How do I get over it? How can I cross it? Ah, yoga can be your boat. But if you remain seated inside the boat after the crossing or try to carry the boat on your back across the country, then which was formerly a useful tool will be from then on a lead ball around your neck. Very heavy. In essence, it's all about self-realizations. And even in the religions, the way to the divine glory leads only through the contemplation and inner growth. Who believes, however, that mechanical recitings of 20 Hail Marys a day or the compulsive chanting of mantras will lead to freedom? Well, this person is wrong and will stagnate. So how do I recognize now a real, let's call it spiritual person? A believer is easy to recognize. He knows a lot about yoga, tantra, whatever, and is always trying to convince, wants to be acknowledged and accepted in his convictions. But does it really feel good? No, neither for the believer nor for those who meet him, and therefore believers from every orientation remain among themselves a lot, glad to have nothing to do with people of another belief system. Heretics, they call them. And they even want to kill them sometimes. It's a total shame, I think, because it's all different perspectives of the very same in essence. So what have all these wisdoms in common? Now, try to imagine the world would be a single vast desert, and in the middle of it, a beautiful oasis. And the great masters of all time, now people who discovered this oasis, and they were so overwhelmed by that they wanted to tell other people of it. Some will perhaps be mostly impressed about the green palms and tell people about this. And they will maybe talk about the mountains they had to cross to get there and how to cross them. So they invented on their way mountain yoga and will show people how to use that. Yet another will be raving about the colorful birds, and he knows how to get across the huge canyons before reaching this oasis. Well, in our example, that would be, for instance, Canyon Tantra. But what have all in common who dwell in this oasis is that they are happy and warm-hearted, peaceful and deeply fulfilled. Indeed, how could it be otherwise? Now, how do you recognize a really spiritual person? Well, this man somehow touches your heart. He or she is warm and joyful, peaceful and kind. Of course, this person still has its own personality, a kind of individual coloring, but it is sustained by a rich abundance, a powerful gentleness which is clearly noticeable. And then it does not matter whether this person is male or female, a rabbi or a priest, a yogi or a tantrist. The essence is always the same. Love. With love, Dirk Liesenfeld.